What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the third episode, I believe, third part of this series for the 4Runner. So in this video, we're going to tackle this section right here on the car. So there is another 4Runner outside that is only for parts, and that's where we're going to be taking this little piece off of. So let's go ahead and go over there, show you guys the car, and show you guys the piece we're going to remove, and let's go ahead and take it off. So I have to remove this little panel right here off of this car. I'm going to show you guys how I go about doing it. We're gonna go ahead and drill this out. So it's basically held on by spot welds. You guys can see this little divot, those are spot welds. We have to go ahead and drill those out. It's gonna go right about around here. Probably gonna cut it at this hole, and then it's gonna be underneath the same thing. I'm probably gonna cut it somewhere around here. We're gonna have to try to carefully take this piece off without damaging it. So let's go ahead and get the grinder with the wire wheel and take it along the edges, get that all prepped to start drilling out. I'm gonna go ahead and drill this out now. I went ahead and put the tape where I'm gonna end up doing the cuts later, but right now we gotta drill out all the spot welds from underneath, right here in the fender well, then right here. We're gonna start out with this drill bit. I think this is 3/32. Then we're gonna go to 1/8, and then we're gonna go to a tapered step bit. Wear some gloves and be careful if you guys are doing that. So that's what it's looking like when it's all drilled out. Where the tape is, I'm gonna go ahead and take a grinder and we're gonna cut it. But now what we have to do is pry this piece off from that piece without trying to damage this outer skin. So let's go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and got this whole part disconnected right here, as you guys can see. Now I have to do around here and down there. I have to take off this tire to do this section, and then I have to get on the floor to do this section. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow because it's getting late. I'm a little tired, so I don't want to take off this tire tonight anyways. Alright guys, welcome back. It is the next day now. I am well rested, so let's go ahead and finish this job. Alright, so now I'm gonna lift up this car, take this wheel off, get rid of this jack, and then let's go ahead and start working over here. So I went ahead and got the tire removed right here. We started drilling out the spot welds right here, and as you can see, we did start drilling these spot welds out right here, but I'm kind of glad I didn't finish this right here yet. I think I'm going to change my mind about how I'm going to go about taking it off right here. We're going to go ahead and keep this cut. We're going to extend the cut right about here, and then we're going to cut right here. So that way we can take this whole entire piece and keep it looking OEM and nice and straight without having to try to straighten out the other piece. You can see that over here, it's undamaged. So the way we drilled this out is fine. But over here, as you can see, it got wadded up a good bit. So what I'm going to do is actually, you can see where my finger is, I'm going to end up cutting probably like 2 inches away from the edge of this. I'm going to cut that much off of the other piece, so that way when we get that piece we can put it in here, and it's gonna have that OEM arch going around right here, and it's gonna look more clean. The other piece that's behind this skin is also gonna be wadded up. So these two are still together pretty good. I'll just go back and weld those holes back up. Quickly, let's finish taking apart this bottom section. I haven't completely finished drilling through all the spot welds, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Then we just have to make this cut and we're gonna be good to go. Go ahead and see if we can remove it. Here's the little section that we need. All right, you guys, as you can see, this piece is now cut out. Came out pretty nice and easy. So right here is what I was talking about, where I wanted to cut it. Let's get it into the light. Where I wanted to cut it a couple inches away so we could keep the fender well looking nice and OEM. Our next job is actually going to be to remove this one now. And we're not going to be drilling it out. We're going to be doing it a different method. You guys will see here in a second how I plan on going about doing this. But we got to try to be careful with taking this one off because we don't want to damage the actual car and the body that is going to stay here. The other car, we kind of, you know, we could damage the body, but in this one, it's the opposite. We could damage this panel, but we don't want to damage the body. But yeah, let's get to it one step at a time. So I went ahead and marked where we're going to be doing the rough cuts later. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take this wire wheel on this grinder, take it along the edges here, along the bottom, and under the wheel well. So let's do it. All right, before I go any further, we're gonna go ahead and remove this wheel, get it out of the way. Alright, so we went ahead and did this part right here. I forgot to turn the camera on at the beginning when I started to grind all this stuff down, but I'll try to remember to turn it on and off. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and do the cuts on the tape, so let's do that. Alright, let's see if we can go ahead and pry this piece off now. There's going to be some glue right here, but that's okay. So there we go. There's our rough cut. So let me go ahead and toss this away really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and just grind all this stuff down flat. I'm gonna go ahead and try to straighten this out right here, pull this out a little bit, because the way that this is gonna work is we're gonna pull this out, straighten it as much as we can. Then when we put this piece on, the inner part of the fender well is gonna overlap on top of this piece. And it's gonna give it that OEM look underneath it. But we're also gonna have to trim this a little bit more. So we're gonna have to cut this probably about right here and then probably about right here, but we'll do that after we straighten this out. So this is what I'm gonna be using to pull, or I should say push this piece out a little bit. Just gonna be putting it up against the frame back here and then giving it some force this direction. Alright, so at this point we're going to go ahead and slap this door on, put it on the hinges, so that way we can start seeing what the gaps are looking like before we go any further, cutting anything else off or doing anything else. Okay. Nice. So here's a rough placement of the door, but still the gaps look good on this side. Latches nicely. Alright, so just by putting the door on, this side pretty much already looks complete. So obviously we are still working on this section right here. It's not done yet. And then this is what this section is looking like right here. Still gotta cut it about right here and then down there to put on the new piece. We're also gonna cut off this section right here. Probably gonna do a cut along here and get rid of this piece. That way this part will just be flat and it can slide right into that piece right there, right into the middle. So I got this little piece cut off right here and I forgot to hit record as usual. Okay, now we have to take off this little chunk right here, roughly to about here. So we're gonna do that. Go ahead and disconnect this. just like so. All right, that sensor's out. All right, not too bad. I'm also gonna go ahead and cut this off right here as well while I'm at it. So I went ahead and just marked it right here, roughly where it should be. I'm gonna try to cut that off as best that I can. So what I'm doing now is basically trying to get a rough fitment going, and then I'm putting self-tapping screws in here. So here's the rough fit. We just have to do one more thing, and that is cut through both of these pieces right here to make a nice clean cut. So basically, probably gonna cut it right here. As you can see, I have it all fitted on. It's all lined up. So now I just have to go ahead and I'm gonna make a cut through both of the pieces of metal right there. Alright, so this little piece that I have remaining, I'm just going to go ahead and grind these little spot welds off and get that little piece off right now. Alright, well there you guys have it. So I got this piece on there. It's not the prettiest, and by that I mean, you know, it's not the smallest gap between these two. So there's gonna be a lot of welding to do there. It's not the end of the world because I got this piece on there lined up very nicely. This cuts a lot cleaner because I was able to actually have this metal overlap and then cut them both together. This was not the same case. I had to eyeball this. So it's a little bit of a different route that I took, but we made it work. It's still not that bad. We'll be able to weld all that and make it look nice. But this piece is pretty much done and fitted. And the door closes, obviously. So this piece is gonna stay like this until I have the quarter panel basically on there just the same way, roughly with some bolts and all lined up. After everything is lined up, everything looks good, then we'll start welding and everything will be permanently placed. So we're good on this side. We don't need to focus on this side anymore. All right, but that's all I have for this episode, you guys. Went ahead and completed this side. We're gonna go ahead and do this quarter panel in the next episode. Got the window cut out today. I'll show you guys a clip of that right now. So it's pretty cool how the window gets cut out. I didn't want to record too much of the window getting cut out because, you know, the guy's working. I don't want to get in his way. But anyways, we'll start tackling the quarter panel in the next episode. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video with a couple of friends if you guys do want to help grow the channel. And if you guys don't want to miss a video, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. And you guys should be notified when I have some new uploads. Thank you guys again for watching. You guys all have a fantastic day. See you in the next one. Peace out.